Welcome to the check-in.
Welcome to the check-in.
Hey, y'all. First things first, we gotta let y'all know we grown-ass women, and grown-ass women say some grown-ass shit sometimes. So if your earballs are not prepared for profanity, prepare them.
And also, we are not mental health professionals, so if you are dealing with a mental health crisis or you need somebody to talk to, text HOME to 741-741, and a trained professional will get back in touch with you.
All right, let's get into this content. All right.
It's been a minute. Actually, no. Just kidding. They don't know that.
It's been a week. We missed you guys so much.
Our last episode, because we do this on schedule.
All the time.
So, this series, we are talking about if you only think positive. That's what this if you only think positive. That's what the series is going to be called. Think Positive. We're going to address toxic positivity, toxic communication, and how to rid yourselves of those toxins.
Yeah.
So the first episode, we're talking about toxic positivity.
Yep.
And as usual, friend, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing really good. I'm doing really, really good.
Really?
Thankfully, I don't have too many people in my life right now that do that bullshit. That's like, if you just look at the sun in the morning when the sun rises, you'll feel better. If you just think about the great things in life, even though you feel like doo-doo balls every time you breathe, you will feel so much better.
Yeah, if you don't do those things, you'll feel better. Duh.
Yeah, no. So I did. So the only person that I'll say there were two, and they weren't necessarily people that were going think positive, but they were more so people who were like, no. Like, I think I have depression.
No. You don't have depression.
You're just going through a lot. That's what my doctor told me. Yeah, the one that's supposed to help me when I have problems, she was like, no, you are fine. Okay. You're just going through a lot.
Okay, so when a trained professional tells you some shit like that, well, how do you respond?
I didn't know what to do. I was like, you the one who's supposed to give me the shit I'm asking for, so I guess I'll go home. And that's what I did. Oh, no. The other person was a trusted adult. Not super trusted because the relationship there needs work. But I remember divulging, my experience. And this person was like, nah. Like, literally just refused. Yeah. And I didn't know you could do that. How? Like, in the song Contagious?
Yes. You're contagious.
Yeah, that one. And
me, baby.
R. Kelly's part where he's like, no.
We gotta bleep that out.
I don't think so.
Ellie's part? Yep.
I think they know, though. I think they know who it is.
Ellie's part? Yeah, what did Ellie see?
Okay, so when Mr. Biggs is like, I think I know you. You look familiar.
No.
Like, I don't think so. Yeah, I think I know you, brother, very well. No, you expecting me for somebody else. Frank, shut up!
Don't you see two men are talking? But I told your ass to get to walking.
Now I think you better leave this place.
Honestly, the Isley brothers are going to take this clip down, so we should probably stop.
Okay. Well, they did a good thing by the whole generation. Yeah. Their generation, our generation, generations to come should all know this song. But anyway, that was my experience.
No,
I was like, yes, I have it. No, I don't think so. I'm like, yeah. Like, I didn't know how to take that because I'm like, I'm telling you, this is my experience. And this adult is just like, no.
So do people think you're lying?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I know that people find me very funny.
They do.
So maybe they're just like, this depression bit, I don't like this one. This is not funny at all. I don't like it.
You're a funny person and you're not being that right now.
And I'm like, I don't want you to laugh at this. This is the real. This is the true.
Okay, so on top of not believing in you, they also hit you with the...
Oh, so...
Oh, you just having a bad day.
I had some people, and there are a few people that I really love and appreciate, but that have really never experienced depression. And if you haven't experienced it, it's really hard to understand.
Yeah.
I know prior to me experiencing depression for myself, I didn't understand it. I was just like, well, maybe if you... I was one of those think positive people, probably.
Oh, no.
I probably was.
A lot of people are conditioned that way.
Pray.
Eat, pray, love.
Love.
Live, laugh, love.
Live. Drink. Eat. It was just like, do what makes you happy and you'll be okay. Yeah. And then I got depression and I was like, what makes me happy again? Being dead? That's right. Can I do that one? And they're like, no. No, don't do that. Just go outside in nature. Yeah. Nature will help you.
Yeah.
And I go outside and I'm like, I hate it out here. It's hot and there's bugs and mosquitoes. I'm going back inside. It's too bright outside.
Yes.
So I know those people meant well.
Okay.
So it takes a lot of effort to sit there and try to explain to somebody, no, this is not how that works.
Yeah.
But for the people who legitimately were trying to do their best to help, I would take that time. For other people who are just being dingleberries and would not ever like look stuff up, I'm going to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, 4 + 4 is 17. You're right.
That's
and then
correct.
I go home.
21? That's crazy.
Yep.
Well.
What about you, friend? I already know about you, friend.
Girl.
Because they on my list.
Girl, okay. So, first and foremost, before I start on my little rant, depression, anxiety, any type of mental disorder, I know those are like the big usual ones people deal with.
Yep.
But like schizophrenia, personality disorders, all those things are chemical imbalances, right? So I know this because I read books, and books written by psychologists, psychiatrists, research studies, all these things compiled, backed up by science, say that these mental disorders are chemical imbalances in your brain.
Yes.
And so I view them as that from an objective point of view. And so whenever I'm explaining to people about my depression, about my anxiety, and they say, oh, well, just think positive, or, oh, you're using too much of your energy being depressed. Like, you think I want to be depressed?
If I could will myself to just be positive, I would have been done that.
Like, it's not something that people actively choose to be. Like, people aren't saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do my damnness to be depressed today. Like, it is just a thing that happens to you. It's like if you have, you know, a bad knee.
Yes.
Your bad knee just flares up sometimes. You have no control over that.
Right. And it's like people who are, oh man, my knee is garbage right now.
Yeah.
I can't put weight on it. I'm going to be in a wheelchair. You wouldn't be like, man, just believe in yourself.
Just believing and walk, you lazy.
Why are you being so,
You just want attention. And
it's just like,
no.
What? You wouldn't say that to somebody struggling with asthma. If you just believe you can breathe. Oh, really? That's all that's standing in my way? My thoughts?
All your energy thinking about wheezing, and you're not thinking about breathing
oxygen. Like, if you could just change your perspective. You know, there are other people who can't breathe at all. They're dead. So how about you be a little grateful? That's the one that irritates me the most.
That is like an all lives matter argument when it comes to mental health disorders.
Yep.
There are people that have it so much worse than you, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay.
How does that help me?
That is not about the here and now, though, because my Black life is depressed.
Right.
And I would like to be acknowledged in the moment, and I don't really want to compare. Like, comparing is good when you want to have perspective for different things. That's fine. But the problem with that is you don't, it's a slippery slope for invalidating your feelings. And you don't want to get into that realm of thinking, because then you start gaslighting yourself, and you're just like, oh, am I crazy? Am I the one that's doing blah, 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 blah? No, like, you are just experiencing this this mental illness that you may or may not have, and I don't know, people just need to respect that.
Agreed.
I come from a family of non-believers in mental disorders, which is so funny to me because, I mean, since I was in high school, I've been very much a mental health advocate. Like, I'm true to this. I'm not new to this. So I don't understand why in my adult life, when I'm like, yeah, I've been battling depression since 2009, but I'm on medication. I have a therapist now. I have a good team of support behind me. People are just like, huh? Why?
Yeah.
That's the whole, what do you mean why? Because I want to take care of myself.
And you don't get to choose whether you have any mental illness at all.
No.
So some of this is actually hereditary. So for some family members to really, dismiss it, I'm like, you probably who I got it from, but okay.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing with my family, because half my family, they are African, and talking about mental health in African communities is not really, it's not really common. But a lot of me and my cousins, first generation, like, we're learning our parents a thing or two.
Yeah.
we're explaining things to them, but there's still this cultural disconnect sometimes. And it's really ironic because, like, I could analyze people in my family and I'd be like, that's textbook personality disorder. You're totally bipolar. Like,
or you have extreme anxiety.
Like, you are a high functioning anxious mess. But I can't comfortably come to you and talk to you about my mental health issues without you judging me or telling me to think positive. Like, thinking positive didn't help you.
Right.
So why would it help me?
And let me actually, because I had pulled this up.
Psychology.
We all love Psychology Today. We plug them.
Boom.
so
Psychology
much.
Today.
But I wanted to say what they considered toxic positivity. So they said in this article, the phrase toxic positivity refers to the concept that keeping positive and keeping positive only is the right way to live your life. It means only focusing on positive things and rejecting anything that may trigger negative emotions. And then they said, but that sounds pretty good, right? Not so fast.
It's not.
So they went on in this article, and I think we'll try to plug this article somewhere so you guys can nourish your brains with some reading. But they went on to basically say that by suppressing your negative emotions, you really make those emotions bigger.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, invalidating your own emotions leads to gaslighting yourself. And I think that's something that everybody who has started to realize they have any mental health issue has done. Just naturally, just habitually, like, okay, I have a good life. Like, why do I feel like this? Am I not grateful? Am I a piece of duty? Like, I don't understand what's happening to me.
Why am I being a dingleberry?
Yeah.
You're not being a dingleberry.
You have a chemical imbalance. You have an illness that you cannot control. And that sounds scary, and it's an awful thing to have to admit out loud. I know the first time I did, I cried like a little baby. But
really?
Y'all know I be crying all the time. So. Like, that's not nothing new. But the first time I really came to terms with the fact that I'm like, I am depressed. This Christian goody two-shoes does everything right in life, has a good life, was able to buy a house and do all this great stuff and travel. She got depression.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how, like, well off my parents were, how I grew up, the amazing schools I got to go to, the amazing friends, some of them that I had, the experiences that I got to have. It just, my brain at some point was like, nope, sorry. What are happy chemicals? How do we make those? We don't know.
Oh my God. Like, studying neurobiology is really fun, and I know it's not for everybody, but I mean,
wasn't that your undergrad?
Yeah.
She real smart.
Yeah.
She's smart.
A neuropsychology major, gang. But neurotransmitters, those little bitches, they are fascinating. Like, part of me wishes I stuck with it. I obviously went to law school, shameless plug. But at the same time, it's really interesting to see, you know, how your biology dictates your behavior. And I think, you know, as a society, we are so accustomed to not believing in science.
Yeah.
Especially during a panoramic.
And especially when it comes to mental health, because it seems so intangible. Is that the word?
Yeah, because it's just like, oh, your thoughts and feelings, you have complete control over that. But there are so many things that control your behavior. And at the root of it, it's your biology, it's your chemistry. So having that objective approach when somebody is telling you about their mental health problems, by just telling them, you know, I know positive psychology is a thing. It is a thing. It can help. But the issue is when you only believe that positive thinking is going to make your life better or make your illness less of a problem.
Right.
Like, it's not that simple. You need other things and other factors that will go towards improving your mental health. It's not just positive thinking only. Positive thinking can help. Positive thinking is beneficial.
But it's not helpful when you are suppressing your negative emotions.
Exactly.
And that Psychology Today article also went on to say that negative emotions are like pain to the body. It tells you something is wrong. It tells you you're experiencing something that's bothering you. So acknowledging those emotions are important. Like when somebody tramples over your boundary. Like, that doesn't mean you're just having a weird ass day. That means you're feeling unsafe. You're feeling violated. And it's important to, you know, acknowledge those emotions and try to figure out what's going on here. Can I stop this from happening? Am I safe? Am I okay? These are things that are super important for you to figure out while you're going through life, so that you can protect yourself.
Yeah. I mean, suppressing those feelings is not going to do anything but cause you to explode later on down the line. And I used to be a suppressor. I mean, I still kind of am, but I'm getting better at it, like, with age. But when I was younger, I definitely suppressed all negative emotions. And I was like,
Same.
la 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 la, just think positive. Thank goodness I'm alive. Yee. And you know what I did? I had a mental breakdown in high school in a bathroom. Like, just full blown losing my shit in a bathroom. I had no control over it whatsoever. Like, I think my friend went to go get, like, somebody in the front office, and she was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what's going on. But it's because I was suppressing all of my negative emotions because I didn't want to be that negative person. And, you know, you don't want to be the Debbie Downer all the time. Right. But I think it's important to have a balance between positivity and realism. And I think sometimes like with me, my experiences, like, they're not realistic expectations when somebody's trying to force positivity on me. Right. They're trying to put gold on a piece of shit.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, look, this turd. Let me put some icing on this.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Like, no, it's still a piece of shit. And I think it's okay to say that this situation is a piece of shit. Like, let me be comfortable in saying that, instead of trying to forcefully make me happy over something that realistically wouldn't make another person happy in the same circumstances.
And that's definitely something in my past relationship that used to upset me is, you know, I had a partner that was really I believe he was really trying to help. Yeah. Nobody likes to see Tiffany upset or mad. It's not something that, like, I will be happy and sad before I'm angry and just emotionless. Like, yes. That's not a side of me that is fun. Nobody wants to see that.
10 out of 10. No, won't recommend.
So I generally felt like anytime I would be upset, like angry, I was being rushed through that processing of my emotions. And so it felt like at the end of the day, the person that I was confiding in was trying to rush me to be happy because they were uncomfortable with me being upset. Yeah. And you can't process emotions like that. You can't. And I, for the longest time, thought it was like, okay, I recognize this emotion, anger. All right, moving on. And I'm like, no, just because you know what it is doesn't mean you've processed through it. So anybody trying to kind of guide you out of your anger, sadness, depression, anxiety, they need to be cognizant of what the triggers are.
Yeah.
Because if those triggers are unknown, or if those triggers are something that you can't control, you just guiding somebody out of their feelings with no like understanding of how often this may happen or exactly what's happening. It just feels like, oh yeah, I don't want to be around you mad, so like please don't be mad because you're Debbie Downer, negative Nancy to be around.
But people don't even have that vocabulary.
They
like
don't.
Trigger, boundaries, they don't even,
and they don't have a working understanding of those things.
That completely goes over people's head. Like I don't know, I remember somebody was just like, oh yeah, I get sad too, and I'm just like,
depression's not sadness.
I'm not sad. I'm depressed.
Yes. I'm hopeless. I'm lifeless. I'm existing.
I'm just existing. Like I'm not sad right now, but it's not the same. But I just think people don't have the vocabulary and the terminology to really like talk through what they're experiencing, and they just go to like simple phrases like sadness, like, oh, think positive. If you're sad, be happy. Like it's not that simple. You have to really dig deeper into that. And, you know, that might require doing a little bit of research on your own. I know we're all busy, but a panorama is a perfect opportunity to take some free online courses in psychology. Like I just find it's a fascinating field. And you learn so much, and it really helps with your interpersonal connections and relationships with people. If
you have somebody who's struggling with mental health in your life and you want to find ways to better help them and better support them.
Better help. Oh, sorry.
The thing you can do that's most beneficial is to do some research on your own. Learn the things not to say, because you're never going to have the perfect thing to say to somebody who's going through this. It's really, really exhausting. It's something that happens whether they want it to happen or not. You get to wake up and you hit the lottery on whether you're going to be depressed or not, or how severe your depression is going to be. So you don't have control over that. But if you can at least find what things not to do, that is a world of help.
Yeah.
But because I know we finna go over time.
I mean, we're doing great.
We are.
Yeah.
We are great.
We are great.
But let me ask you.
Yeah.
What do you do when somebody hits you with toxic positivity? Because maybe we can give our beautiful little galaxies a little tips and tricks.
TBH, I really just hit him with a side eye. I'm just like, really? That's what you think? Like, I give myself a second to, because immediately my immediate reaction is just be pissed. I'm just super angry. I'm just like, wow, this is how we're going to start this conversation. Cool. But then, I try to use it as an opportunity to educate. That's just me. I know a lot of people don't have the patience for that. But, I encounter that often. Like, I come from a family that we don't really talk about our feelings. I feel like I'm the only one sometimes. And people get so astounded and shocked by me expressing myself.
Crazy.
And I'm just like, what? Like,
how dare you be a person, have feelings and verbalize them?
What's wrong with y'all? Like, what? But, yeah, what I just use it as an opportunity to educate. What about you?
For me, the thing that I do is if it's somebody that I have good rapport with, I will tell them in that moment, I appreciate you, but that isn't helpful for me right now.
Okay. You correct and to nip that shit in the bud.
Yeah, because I find that 9 out of 10, that person is actually trying to be helpful and they just don't know. So I want to let them know, hey, 1, you're not being helpful, and 2, this is what you can do in the future.
I love that.
But that's pretty much it. If it's somebody that I don't have good rapport with, I just leave that conversation.
Okay.
There have been plenty of opportunities. Somebody starts saying some stuff and I sit there and listen. And I'd be like, And then I leave. There's no other feedback than that. And I don't go to them again. So it's important to recognize people who are capable of being there for you and switching their perspective, being educated, finding out some information and learning from that and going about things a different way.
Yeah.
And people who are just going to look at you like, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right.
But I guess we need to get into our trigger warning.
All right, let's get into this trigger warning.
Okay.
Trigger warning. Okay. So the next episode we're going to be talking about toxic communication. And this is actually going to be a good I kind of have an idea what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, go off there.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about some toxic communication. So, if you are not ready to receive that message,
it's okay.
It's okay. It's
you
all
can
right.
skip it, like and share, save it for later though.
Save it for later, like and share, and post it on your thingy.
Yeah, post it on your thing.
Post it on your thing, and yeah, that's about it.
Wow, this was good.
It was good. We're on schedule. God, I feel so productive today.
Me too.
Drinking wine.
My glass is empty. Anyways,
remember,
you beautiful little galaxies.
Yes.
Remember,
life is like a clean kitchen.
Oh, bro. Life is like waking up and going to clean the kitchen and organizing it, and you don't like stuff on the counter, so you get everything off the counter pretty much and you put it in a cabinet and you just feel good.
You feel good. But, sometimes the kitchen is dirty and that's okay too.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just, you know what? You go through life the way you need to, but then you remember, like, look, I got a little bit of spice, little value to my life. I clean a little bit. You ain't got to clean the whole house, just in one room. That's fine.
And it turns out beautiful. Beautiful.
You feel so good. You're not doing nothing for the rest of the day.
Boom. Stop recording for your podcast.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. All right, beautiful little galaxies. Remember to love yourself.
And love others.
And continue to be the beautiful little galaxy.
Continue to be the beautiful little galaxy that you
are. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.